us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV 15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
Welcome to Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okie dokie, kids. What's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news. It's Constitutional Day, whatever that means. You know, on October 10th, 2010, the island of St. Martin decided that we had enough of Curacao bullshit. We had enough of being involved with all the other islands surrounding us. We wanted a seat at the table. We wanted to be an autonomous state. We wanted to be someone that matters. We wanted to have our own prime minister. We wanted to have our own ministers. We wanted to have the chief of police here. We wanted to have our own recruits. Everything around the fabric of what St. Martin is. Now, what St. Martin is, we didn't get to figure out before we went in our autonomous state. We just did something whereby we was like, you know, we're going to cut ties because the French side did it, because Guadeloupe was everything for them, so they wanted to do everything in Marigot. So therefore, we wanted to have something whereby it's only Phillipsburg and not Willemstad, Curacao. So the Dutch was like, okay, so what we're going to do is, we are going to give you your own autonomous state. You're going to have a prime minister. And it was like, yes. It was like, you're going to have a governor, not a lieutenant governor. Okay, yes. You are going to be in charge of your own crime, like to solve your crime. We was like, yes. We're going to take care of the defense because you don't have a military, so we got you. He was like, yes. Then it was like, so you see, we have a central bank of the Netherlands Antilles. We're going to have a central bank of St. Martin and Curacao. If you're in Curacao, it's the central bank of Curacao and St. Martin. If you're in St. Martin, it's St. Martin and Curacao. Yes, okay. It's not the same? No, because it's Curacao and St. Martin. So we're going to cater to both of you because all you can't do are your own central bank. And then all your police force, you're going to have a police chief that's going to be in charge of the police force. But every 3 months, we're going to meet with the rest of the kingdom and we're going to just decide on how we're going to go further. Yes! You can't make no outside loans. You can't make your own decision with any neighboring islands. But you have an autonomous state because you got a prime minister. Yes! The same damn thing, but on paper, it looks good. Why? Because a politician gets to make something called the Parliament of St. Martin that makes laws for the people of St. Martin. But since you don't have any laws, and you don't have any ideas what kind of laws we're going to have, we're going to give you the laws from the Netherlands Antilles that don't exist anymore, and just give it to you, and you could use it in the meantime until you figure out yourself. How long has it been? It's only been about 14 years. Are we better off? I'll leave the answer for you. Oh, and also, you guys going to get to have your own late night show and show how we screwed you. I swear to God, it's only in St. Martin where we say, but we want to be autonomous, we want to be our bosses. And then when it blows up, the Dutch should take over. The Dutch, where are you? We need you. Oranje naar boven. Waar ben je, Willem? Beatrix, ben je nog steeds daar? It's only in St. Maarten. When things go good, then it's the hard-working people of St. Maarten that continues to be resilient and make things better for the island because they believe in us. Everything else corrupt, bring in the Dutch. But you want to have autonomous state. You want to be independent. Which one? I always say you have to pick a struggle. And in St. Maarten, we like to pick a struggle when it's convenient. I hope the electricity will go off, right, GB? Because GB say everything is okay. For the life of me, I don't understand how GB tell us yesterday that yes, the smoke in the clouds was because we turn on a generator that was off for a little while. I don't know why it was off, but it was off, and we turn it on, and then smoke started to come out from the generator. So then we turn it off. So we're gonna have load shedding. But yet, what we're going to do this week is we're going to discuss in Parliament, in a Central Committee, where this government, this lovely, I don't know, 2x3, I should call them, decides that they are going to pump $80 million, or 80 million guilders. No, $80 million sound more dramatic. $18 million into the pockets of GEBE, who has been handling everything so wonderful so far. Is there relief? Yes, there's relief. If you go to GB, and this is a special for all those who owe GB right now, if you go to GB and you make a payment plan, it's going to become a 3-piece payment plan. So it only could be paid in 3 pieces. So if you owe 40,000 guilders, it's divided by 3. How much is 40 divided by 3, Al? 8 something thousand guilders. I think we can make it work, right? Prostitution is legal. Anyway, relief for residents, for businesses, is nowhere in sight. But yet the government is saying that things are looking up. Yet we are celebrating a constitutional day when we ain't even get the Constitution right as yet. It's rough. But in any case, happy Constitutional Day. Let me put that up. Ask put that up for me on the screen. Yay! Yay! All right, let's continue. What else is happening on the lovely island? It's always good to go back to where we started from. And over the years, we had some very interesting speeches when it comes to the Constitution Day, which is hilarious when you really look at it now. We're going to go back into time, and we're going to give you some of the Constitution Day speeches from prime ministers before. And then I want you to realize how full of love and wisdom these lovely politicians were. Take a look.
I am Eugene Holiday. I'm the governor of St. Maarten. In fact, I have been the governor of St. Maarten since October 10th, 2010, and in that respect, the first governor, and I'm currently serving in my 2nd term. With that, I'm very thankful that you have decided to give some attention to this particular process, which I believe is very important for our future generations to understand how things came about to realize and accomplish country status. It is important that we look back and realize that country status did not start with the 2000 referendum. The quest for country status, or actually, which I would more refer to as the quest for self-governance, in fact, started way back in the 1800s. When you study the history of St. Martin, you would see that prominent St. Martiners, such as William Rumney, already in 1864, or Josiah Wyatt, or Weymouth, as far back as 1911, or other prominent St. Martiners like Lionel Bernard Scott in the 1930s and 40s, and Claude Watty in the 1980s, all were proponents of self-governance or a greater degree of self-governance for St. Martin. So it is really a accumulation of events or factors that have led to this stage that we are in today. Also, there was in the 1991 the motion of the Island Council, for which basically was passed unanimously to have full internal self-government for St. Martin.
My name is Ralph Richardson, not so known in St. Martin, and I was a civil servant for years in Aruba. I did my engineering study. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. And after working 7-8 years with the government of Aruba, I was head of the government safety department in Aruba. This federal government safety department in Aruba, because the safety department fell under the Department of Labor. And the Department of Labor in Aruba is a central government department. 1978, I came to St. Martin. I joined a law firm here, Gibson and Duncan. I worked there for a while as three partners. And in 1981, I was asked by a good friend of mine, the then Prime Minister of the Netherlands Antilles, Mr. Don Martina, if I wanted to become Lieutenant Governor in St. Martin, because they were looking for someone, to take over the 1st of September 1981. 1973, there was an election in Aruba, federal government election. And the Young Party, the MEP, won that election landslide. Now, that party then joined with the larger party in Curaçao, and they formed a government. And the MEP party joined that government with one objective, simple one objective, to obtain the separate status of Aruba. They signed a government accord with that in it, that this government will work on the separate autonomy of Aruba. It didn't work out, government fell, new elections and what have you. That was the beginning for Aruba. Then, in 1977, there was another federal government election, and again, the MEP party won that election in Aruba, landslide. The formateur of the government, of that new government to be formed, was the late Mr. Roosendaal. His party, the DP, won election in Curaçao. And he decided up front, I will not deal before a formateur or informateur was appointed by the governor of the Netherlands Antilles. He decided he will not join in any kind of government with the MEP, because the MEP is working on the disintegration on the Netherlands Antilles. This thing about status aparte and autonomous is all nonsense. Nowhere. Thus he decided he will not even talk to the MEP after elections what a informateur or a formateur is supposed to do. He talked with all the parties. Came to Aruba, refused to talk to And what the map did, and I was part of it, I'm proud to say I was part of it, the map called a general strike in Aruba. That was in August 1977. You see the march we had here 2 weeks ago? There was a march like that in Aruba. The strike started with this enormous march. When I say a march, everybody from Aruba, no matter what political party you were, what denomination, you had a joint group of people, the churches, the schools, the teachers, they went on strike. And that strike was announced by the late Betico Cruz. We're going on strike because they don't want to form government with us. They don't even want to even talk to us. For 5 days, Aruba was locked down. No water, no electricity, no nothing, no planes coming in. The airport was closed down by the central government. No boats coming in, closed down by the central. Aruba survived those 5 days. The Dutch sent down a minister to talk to Aruba. And in 1977, there were meetings organized in the Netherlands, and there is where the separate status for Aruba started. September 1977, when the kingdom government decided, we're taking these people serious, we're going to work on the separate status, or on the future, on the independence of Aruba, because there was a referendum in Aruba in March 1977. That referendum was asking two questions: whether Aruba wanted to become independent or want to be part of a federation with the central government, with Curaçao. 92% of the electorate went out to vote. 85% voted in favor of the independence of Aruba. Okay? And that was the start, that was the shock that was needed.
My name is Richard Gibson. I've been born in Aruba, moved to St. Martin in '69, and spent all my life up to now on St. Martin. The commemoration of the obtaining of our separate status is a story that I think some people forget and we should rehash. Why? When? What were the issues? And it's not something that happened overnight from one day to the other, but it was a long process. In 2004, in 1973, the central government of the then Netherlands Antilles organized a referendum. And the questions in the referendum was, do we want to stay in the Netherlands Antilles? Do we want to become independent? Do we want to have any other status? 90% of the people under that central government organized referendum voted to stay in the Netherlands Antilles. Of course, to convince people, certain promises were made at the time, because already there were tensions, and those tensions surrounded money, which is the root of all evil. The central government has duties and obligations towards all the islands, and was not taking care of those obligations. Besides that, the islands were growing up. They were no longer little children. The islands wanted authority for themselves, to take charge of certain aspects of government. So from that confusion came, well, let us find out if the islands really wanted to stay in the Netherlands Antilles, and they voted to stay. It didn't take long, though, that many of the promises to divest certain agencies of the central government to the islands did not come to fruition. In the meantime, more and more what you saw is that less and less attention was being paid to the welfare of the islands. I'll mention you one or two examples. Safety is something that's essential for every country and every citizen. Things had deteriorated to such a point on St. Martin that the police department we had was unable to meet the basic needs of safety towards the citizens of St. Martin. In fact, the most dramatical example is that at a certain point, the police department had one vehicle. And it was a vehicle that they rented from a local car rental company.
My name is Dennis Leroy Richardson, and I am at this moment pensioned, and I have been the gezaghebber, as used to say, the lieutenant governor of St. Martin from the year up to the year 2000, 1994 to 2000, 6 years. And at the end of that period, I became the program manager for our goal to achieve country status in St. Martin. That has been my position for quite a while. And after that, I've served my country in different roles as a member of the Kingdom Council of State, as a member of the Council of Advice of St. Martin, as a Minister of Justice, and as an advisor on different topics in the past years. In the period that I was back in St. Martin as Lieutenant Governor, I stopped calling it Lieutenant Governor because in the American system, it is the assistant to the governor. And in our situation, it is more like a mayor or a governor itself. So, so I did. I returned in 1994. And that was the time when St. Martin was under higher supervision. The island was put under higher supervision in the time from Prime Minister Poirier because of bad management of the government. And my task, and that was the charge that I received, I was appointed gezaghebber, governor, was to do whatever is necessary to end the higher supervision by making changes in the government of St. Martin, ranging from the organization of the government to the establishment of policies and laws that would kind of also take the governing of St. Martin out of a kind of individual decisions based on whether your family, friends, whether they like you or not like you, but based on the rule of law. That is what I was charged with in doing when I came in 1994 as a gezaghebber for St. Martin.
My name is William Marlin, and talking about 10-10-10, when St. Martin became one of the constituent states in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, one would say, what role did you play? I've played several roles. The referendum actually began with the first referendum in 1994. At a time, I was a commissioner, just became commissioner in 1994 to the period of 1995. The late Vance James Jr. was the leader of the party then, and the party was also in the central government. That's how I was not in the central government. I gave up my seat to become a commissioner, and then Member of Parliament Roland Duncan, he assumed that seat in Parliament. We were also supporting the central government. So the central government, then headed by the late Prime Minister Miguel Poirier, he was pushing for a restructured Netherlands Antilles, that was actually the name of his party, Party for the Restructuring of the Netherlands Antilles. Vance and Roland were supportive of a restructured Netherlands Antilles. I actually was not. I thought we've had enough of it. It was a station passé. We should move on. But on the other hand, I was also always a party person, a party loyalist, if you would want to call it. So I did not want to rock the boat. And one time during an interview, I can remember skillfully dodging the bullet. And the interviewer asked me, you know, why I was not on the campaign trail and if I was not supporting the restructuring of the Netherlands Antilles. And my answer to him was that I am a commissioner in the government of St. Martin. I'm dedicated to St. Martin. And whether we are independent St. Martin, we would need roads, schools, homes. We would need an educational system. Whether we are a restructured Antilles, the same would apply. And even if we become an independent St. Martin, the same would apply. So I am leaving the decision up to the people. And lo and behold, the outcome was a restructured Netherlands Antilles. That was 1994. Would I do the same thing today in 2020? Absolutely not.
I'm Roland Duncan. I'm a lawyer. On the 14th of September this year, I made 46 years practicing law. So you know how close the age is to retirement. As a matter of fact, it's past retirement. Anyway, as a practicing lawyer, I've been involved with advising government, etc. And only in 1994 did I get involved in, let's call it, direct politics. Otherwise than that, I was a lawyer. I was called on government in several different times, several different situations to provide legal support, legal advice, etc. In 1994, I was convinced to go in politics. And we got elected that year and to the Parliament of the Netherlands Antilles. Why I mention this is that in that particular period, there had been a referendum in Curaçao in which option A had won. Option A to keep the Antilles together. So as a proponent of such, I went to Parliament representing St. Martin. My party, the SPA at the time, had won the election, so we had 2 representatives. And most of the time it was Mr. James and I, and thereafter Miss Felicia James. In that period of Parliament, there was a movement or a book, a grouping, a commission was put together to see how best the Antilles could stay together and be governed. A report was made, and never forget the word, Make It Work was the name of the report. And that report showed that while the Antillean Islands wanted to stay together, the largest island, Curaçao, did not particularly budge in terms of representation. And a lot of people talk about the good old Antillean days. However, one of the things that St. Martin has been fighting for is to get recognition, to grow up.
I started out as a civil servant, but before that, my educational background gave me a great opportunity to contribute to St. Martin's development. I studied in the Netherlands. I have my master's degree in political science and public administration. And when I came back, that gave me the opportunity to be the first chairwoman of the referendum of St. Martin in 1994. You asked, what were the sentiments at the time? So back 1994, the discussions were already taking place with regards to the constitutional changes between the islands and the Netherlands, the islands of Curaçao, St. Martin, Aruba, and at the time, Sable Station, Bonaire. So, but we never had a referendum before. So in 1994, and the period before that, the sentiments of the people, the governments, we had senators at the time representing us in the parliament of the Netherlands Antilles, and St. Martin felt left out. St. Martin felt at the time that we were not getting our fair share of the taxes and getting the fair share of the taxes, and they decided, the government at the time, the senators at the time, the commissioners at the time, decided to continue to pursue our right of self-determination.
I am Sarah Westcott Williams, currently a member of Parliament for St. Martin, so one of the 15 members of Parliament. However, I have served during the period of being an island territory, so when St. Martin was part of the Netherlands Antilles. And thus, as commissioner during those days, I have also held several portfolios. A very important one for this interview is the portfolio of constitutional affairs, to which we will come back. I consider myself to have been very fortunate, and I was humbled by being able to serve the new country, St. Martin, as its first prime minister for a period of 4 years. However, in order to have reached that milestone of 2010 as country St. Martin, a lot had to happen during the years leading up to 10-10-10. Many persons have contributed during those years in order for us, on that moment of the 10th of October 2010, to call ourselves country St. Martin within the Dutch Kingdom.
Coming up next, we have 2 performances by Faiza Tabasamu and Lorenzo Gomez. Please stay with us.
Suoliga. Suoliga is a woman with rock wall plaits in her hair and white sand painted on her toes. I know her. I come from her belly, lived on her body, smelled the yeasting of her pond, her breast milk gone. Her lips are liquid red and her fingers cannot hold a pen. They are brittle from picking sour diamonds from the water in her tub. Suoliga isn't who she used to be. She is slipping away from me. Most of her children don't look back. Most don't see her dull, expressionless eyes. Once, I begged her to tell me her story. So she opened her mouth, but there was a black pool of blood saturating the space where her tongue was. Suoliga has remembered me. I am one of her daughters, and the fire in my tongue will speak for her.
If you've just joined us, you are watching the 10th anniversary virtual commemoration of 10-10-10 under the theme Decadal Growth and Progress. In this segment, we explore the arguments and the case for St. Martin seeking a new constitutional status to increase its autonomy.
St. Martin was part of the Roundtable Conferences, 81, 82. I was member of the delegation. I was lieutenant governor in the meantime. I was a member of the delegation of St. Martin as advisor. St. Martin had a small delegation of 3 or 4 people, and of that delegation I was an advisor. After that, the Roundtable Conference, like I said, Aruba obtained a separate status. There was a little standstill because what we were doing then, I was Minister of Constitutional Affairs too for a while, we were preparing the separate status of Aruba. The central government had to do that. The Minister of Constitutional Affairs, Aruba had to do its own thing. Aruba was working very hard and preparing its institutions and its departments and so forth. But in the meantime, the central government, the Department of Constitutional Affairs, had to prepare, had to execute the decisions that were taken at the Roundtable Conference to get to Aruba's separate status on the 1st of January 1986.
Okie dokie, let's begin. Late Night begins right now.
You've dreamt it. You've worked hard for it. And now you've got it. You deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor and know that you're covered in case of a disaster, like an unexpected fire or a vehicular collision. At Magical Insurances, we focus on settling your claims quickly and fairly so you can get back to enjoying your life. Magical Insurances, fast, fair, and always there.
Nugent. She my gang. Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? Anytime I see a girl, you want to get with bun like a cigarette, bend down like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg, bun like a cigarette, bend down like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Everybody get mad.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry departments respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on two major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
Okay, interview time. We are here with the one, the only Lisa Gums. What you saying? Also known as the Big Twin.
What's up, what's up?
I finally get you on the show. What's up, man?
I'm fine, and yourself?
So far, so good. Talk to me. St. Martin Taxi app. Tell us all about this. How you come up with this thing now?
XXM Taxi. Yeah. I mean, XXM Taxi is something that was planned, let me say, like a year ago. I just had the opportunity to meet someone that is a developer and actually believed in my idea, because I'm actually a person that has traveled a lot, and I felt like the island needed something like that.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, but at least we got it now. So you said, you know what? Nah, since nobody doing it, you're going to just take it, and you're going to run with it.
Exactly. And I met someone by the name of Anthony that that's what he does, actually develop applications and stuff like that. And then me and him had a conversation, and he was like, listen, do you really want to have something like this going in St. Martin? I was like, yeah, I really want to do something like this for sure. And then, you know, like he kept taking my ideas and putting it together and putting it much more together. And we just, you know, like, let's say like, I would always tell him like, listen, this is something that it has to benefit the taxi drivers as well as the guests coming to St. Martin. Why? Because I'm a taxi driver myself. Yeah. So I would never want something to go out there that is going to jeopardize the taxi driver's bread, or like, let me say,
the image at least.
Yeah. Never.
Yeah. Now, as far as this is concerned, we're in a stage right now where you're introducing it to the taxi drivers, right?
Yes.
And the idea is for both sides. How did you come that you was going to put both sides? Because you could have only stick to the dot side, but you decided to also do friend side.
Well, Andrew, to be honest with you, I feel like if you're a taxi driver, that even if you're on the front side and you could drive on the dot side, I think if something is introduced to both sides. I mean, as well as, let's say, like, for instance, even if we get a job on the dot side and we have to drive to the front side, a taxi driver on the front side can't tell us, let's say, you can't pick the job up, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So I feel it's something to benefit everyone once you're a licensed
basically.
Taxi driver, yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to this rollout to tell us a little bit how it works. How can a taxi driver benefit from this? Because contrary to popular belief, it's not just for any Johnny-come-lately. It's for a taxi driver that has a license.
Exactly.
So it's not somebody who calls himself a taxi driver.
No, it's not Uber, it's not Lyft, so it's not any particular person could just add themselves. The app, the way how we created it, we have our approval process, so which means that anyone that's going to be part of this app must upload the taxi license, they must upload the driver's license for safety for guests, you know, and make sure that we also on the right track so we don't actually have people that are not licensed taxi drivers adding themselves to the application.
Wow. All right. Now, as soon as that happens, they add themselves, then what happens?
Okay, so once you upload your documents, you just receive an email. Once you receive the email actually giving you the approval for you to have an insight of the app. But the app is not launched as yet. The app is launching December 3rd. So once the app is launched, then you will be visible to any guest that has the XSM Rider app, XSM Taxi Rider app, which is the guest that's traveling to St. Martin. They will have that app on their phone, and then the taxi drivers will have the XSM Taxi Driver app, which goes through approval process, you know?
So now, and the guests will be using that, and they'll see which taxis in the area?
Yeah, so the guests will be using the app. They will see the taxis that are in the zone. Even if they don't have a taxi in the zone, they will be able to see which taxis are available and will be able to choose whether they're willing to wait the minutes that the distance of the taxi driver is or not, you know? Yep. On the app, you could also have emergency numbers. Like, for instance, if you're in any emergency situation as a rider, you have SOS numbers that you could put so that the app could contact those persons.
So police, ambulance, all those?
Correct. The app also has a built-in phone, so you wouldn't have to go and look for the taxi driver who's driving you phone number or whatnot if you have a favorite driver. So you could actually add favorite drivers to your specific application so that you wouldn't have to search for the taxi driver that you had felt pleased with, you know? Yeah.
Now, when it comes to these taxi drivers, because we all know we have some special taxi drivers that...
Tell me about it,
that believe that, you know, anything that is new, you know, is a little bit frowned upon because they like the way things used to be before. However, to the rest of the world, these same taxi drivers are forced to use their phones for any little thing off island. So coming back to St. Martin, how do you deal with those who say, oh no, this is a scam, oh this looks strange? Because there are the benefits for the taxi drivers, like ridiculous benefits.
Well, to be honest with you, Andrew, I'm a person that does always look at the bigger picture. You know, I just take negative comments good and good comments great. You know, so for me, it's like if you have a negative impact on whatever is going to be launched, I mean, it's not going to stop me. It's just going to make me better, whatever, let's say, comment you have that is negative towards the app. You know what I mean? So if you tell me, like, listen, Big Twin, I feel like this and that is going to affect us as taxi drivers, I just go back and say, well, look, I adjusted it. You know what I mean? So I just try to adjust it as much as possible along with my team, of course, and with Anthony, which is the developer. He does also listen a lot, and he does also, let me say, roll out what he feels is also beneficial for the taxi drivers and the guests that's coming into St. Martin. So for instance, if you're in a situation as a guest that you stranded somewhere, you wouldn't need to go and call anyone. You could just connect yourself to any nearby internet service or Wi-Fi service, download the app, and hail a taxi.
And hail a taxi, just like that.
How they just get, let's say, paid?
Yeah.
They get paid through the app. So which means the app is just an optional extra service for taxi drivers to get more work and for guests to have more convenience. You know what I mean? So is, let's say they get paid through the app. The app charges a booking fee and a convenience fee because it's a service that we're offering. You know, so XSM Taxi is also a island-based company, is not a abroad company. You know, it's a Bayvey here on St. Martin that we established to make sure that everything is locally.
Okay, so it's not some foreign company that is taking over transportation, you know?
No foreign.
Okay, you see? The benefit from what I'm seeing is the first 100 drivers that sign up?
Yeah, the first 100 drivers that sign up, well, actually not the first 100 drivers, the first 100 rides that any driver complete will get a bonus, you know, courtesy of the company of $500 US, and of any convenience fee that the riders pay on for a year, the driver will get a 10% out of that. That's apart from the fare. How the fares are regulated is the government regulated prices, you know, and the extra 10% on top of that.
On top of that. You see, so it's a benefit for all.
Definitely, definitely.
I'm gonna have to call Krisha, see if I can get a license because this is some good stuff. All right. When it comes to the customers, you're going to roll out to the visitors. I'm sure they're going to be looking forward to this because I'm sure as a taxi driver, tell us a little bit about your experience with people going like, can I pay online?
Yeah.
How does it work? Can I do something easy instead of having to have cash?
Yeah, well, actually, it's going to be very beneficial to the drivers who don't have a card machine because they could just use the app and have the rider pay through the app. You know what I mean? So it's going to be beneficial in that way. I mean, it's not an app that is coming to take over, to say, like, to take jobs out of the chats that are circulating that gives jobs. You know, it's not going to take jobs from the association. Why? Because the jobs are staying within we, the taxi drivers. Is not going to any other particular person out there.
Is it possible for someone to double book, or it's not possible?
Double book in which sense?
For example, I take a taxi now on the app, and then I take another taxi, and then you see two taxis coming for you at the same time. That's not possible.
No, it's not possible because if you going to, let's say, cancel a job, they have a fee for the rider when they cancel the job to benefit the driver. You know what I mean? Because if you can't make a taxi driver move from where they are to come to you, and then you decide you don't want them no more.
I love that.
You know?
So it's really working in the favor of the...
Yeah, right now we're in the marketing and the promoting type of phase.
Yeah.
Right now we have 3 billboards out, which is for the drivers to could actually scan the QR code so they could be part of it.
So listen, Big Twin, you know, and I talking to some, I'm talking on behalf of some of the old taxi drivers that don't know what a QR code is and don't know what scanning is. So can you please explain what that means? Because I know they have some going like, scan what? What do you mean?
Well, whoever don't know how to scan a QR code, we also have a video out there.
Yes, on the late night.
We have a video out there online on the website, www.xxmtaxi.com, that you could go and actually see how the app works. You know what I mean? So you can have a little bit more knowledge about it. On the website, we also have everything that you need to know about the application. And if you don't know how to scan a QR code or download an application, you could easily just email me at lisa.gums@xxmtaxi.com, and I will be available to assist you.
That's how it is. So it's a benefit for all government. Are you talking to them also, or?
Well, actually, I reached out to the Minister of TEAT which is Miss Grisha Helliger Martin. And we are trying right now to arrange a meeting because she have been traveling a lot these past days. And once my developer gets here, we'll be able to sit and talk about it to see how we could enroll it in a more positive way to the public or to the taxi drivers.
Krisha, stop wasting time. Let's go. Let's do this. Come on.
No, I mean, she feels
good.
positive about it, but she still haven't sat with us to, you know, so we could have a better understanding, or she could have a better understanding
of what it does,
of what it is, or what it does, and how it's going to benefit the guests that are coming here to St. Martin.
This is the only app are you working for now? There's nothing else in the works, or you try to see how this goes?
For now, this is the only app that I'm actually focused on. Why? Because I'm in the taxi field.
Yeah.
And
you got to improve it.
Yeah, exactly.
And somebody got to do it.
For sure.
All right. And you also have some good cooperation with the association from both sides.
Well, I'm part of the DSTA, the Dutch St. Martin Taxi Association. I did explain the president of the Dutch St. Martin Association about the app and how she could have helped me with the screening process. I haven't really got a feedback from her. I don't really know why, but I'm still positive that probably when they start seeing that it's something that is really going to come out, probably she would have a sit or a talk with us to get more information about exactly how we could, you know, enroll and encourage the taxi drivers to be part of it.
And how many taxi drivers
Approximately about 80 taxi drivers already added themselves to the app, but this app is for everybody, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want you to come back so that when you're rolling out for the customers now, we could do a lot.
No, definitely. Like in November.
December 3rd, right? December.
Yeah, December 3rd is when the app is going to be launched. But in November, we're going to have at least 4 billboards for the riders.
Perfect.
You know.
Lisa Gums, Big Twin here on the Late Night Show. Make sure taxi drivers don't be afraid of
joining.
No. Of improvement, of evolvement, of growth. It just adds to your money. It adds to your cash.
It's not taking anything away from the taxi drivers at all.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
St. Martin taxi drivers, I'm inviting you to have a look of our demonstration video, which is the XXM taxi video, so that you could see why and how it's beneficial to you guys.
Welcome to SXM Taxi, the most convenient way to hail a taxi on St. Martin. Our app is strictly dedicated to licensed taxi drivers only on the island of St. Martin. You must have an active authorized taxi license and driver's license to be approved to use our service. Our app is designed for the convenience of both customers and drivers. Customers simply download the app, upload a credit card, and have immediate access to any driver available nearby. Once you sign up and are approved to drive, you can choose when you want to use the app by toggling the switch at the top center of your screen to either online or offline. When you are online, you will be alerted for passenger pickups in your area, be visible to riders, and be able to accept rides. When you are offline, you will not receive alerts and you will be invisible to riders. This feature is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to use at your discretion, making the app extremely flexible and user-friendly for the driver. Once the rider requests a taxi, a notification is sent to all drivers in the vicinity. The first available driver to accept the ride gets the fare. Once you are alerted of a potential fare, you can accept the trip by clicking the Accept button at the bottom of your screen. The app's built-in GPS feature will then guide you directly to the rider's location. By clicking the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you can choose from 3 different GPS integrations: Apple Maps, Google Maps, or Waze. This feature gives you the ability to use the GPS platform you are most comfortable with. Please keep in mind that you must download the GPS app that you prefer separately onto your phone in order to use this feature. We recommend downloading the Waze GPS app for best results, as we find it to be the most accurate and up-to-date GPS platform. Once you arrive at your passenger pickup point, slide the Mark Arrived arrow at the bottom of your screen. For added security, the app will require you to enter either the last 4 digits of the passenger's phone number or an OTP code that was provided to the rider. This built-in safety feature protects drivers from unwanted or incorrect passengers. Once you enter the correct code, the ride can start by swiping the slide to begin arrow on the bottom of your screen. Once the trip is complete, simply swipe the slide to end right arrow on the bottom of your screen. The fare is automatically calculated and charged to the rider's credit card. You are now ready and available for your next ride. Driver sign-up bonus fees. All drivers that sign up to use our service will receive an additional 10% booking fee for every fare booked with the app through 2025. In addition, the first 100 drivers that use our service and reach their 100th ride milestone with SXM Taxi will receive a one-time $500 bonus fee.
Did you know I just signed up for Flex by Telem?
Do you mean flex like this?
Definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not Flex like that. Telem's Flex is a mobile plan that adapts to your needs. Each month, I get a preset monthly fee that has a set amount of data, SMS, and minutes. So I know what I'm getting. But say goodbye to overages and bill shock, because when I go over my postpaid plan, it switches to prepaid. So I have the flexibility to top up what I need when I need it. I'm in complete control. My budget, my rules.
That is it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. Bye-bye.